if you know people, you can go over there and they'll probably give you some. It's very, very easy to get drugs and alcohol. I know when I was 12 years old, I was getting drugs, and it wasn't hard. I hung out with some people who had them. But I've never had a problem getting drugs in any state. If you want to find drugs, go to the Greyhound station. You'll find drugs.
Wow.
In any city, doesn't matter where you're at. It's not hard to get drugs. They're so easy to get. It's like going to get a pack of cigarettes, going to get a drink out of the water fountain. Just look for the people who use them, and you'll find them. Yeah, there's a lot of people like that. People who are inclined to, bend their morals and values a lot. People who have no problem, manipulating perceptions. I'm talking about people like stockbrokers, lawyers, salesmen, people who make a living out of being immoral and not supporting values. They have no problem doing drugs because they don't want to feel bad about what they're doing. They know what they're doing is wrong. They're lying about things or changing the laws and manipulating the laws so the perception of it is that these people are doing right, or they're stealing from others and justifying the means to the end. These kind of people live in this industry where they know they can barely sleep with themselves if they stay sober. So they party their brains out most of the time so they don't feel that way. But it always comes to a head. It always comes to an end, There's a lot of people in those industries that do drugs. There's a lot of people who are comedians, though. There's some people, you can look them straight in the eyes and you have no idea they're drug addicts. And there's others, generally the people who are full-blown addicts that really don't hide the use at all. That it's obvious. And you spot each other out and you see each other from afar. I think the number one thing you look for are impulsive people. People who act upon their emotions quickly. Reactive people are the number one candidates to suspect of being drug addicts. You say something slick to somebody like, "Yo, what's your problem?" and they pop off at you or say something slick, good chances are they might be addicted to something. Nicotine, alcohol, drugs. If you throw a bedroom on a stare at some girl, like you want to have sex with her, and she reacts quickly, she's reactive, impulsive, she probably acts upon those thoughts. It's a good idea that she'll probably party with you too if she's so inclined to be attracted to what you got. I think alcohol is the worst drug because A, it's accepted by society. B, it's the most injurious, it kills more people than any other drug. And B, it's so easy to get. You can get a can of beer for $1.05. You can drink it anywhere you want almost, except for like in public. And it will kill you. My first drug was alcohol, and then marijuana. They call marijuana the gateway drug. I don't believe it. I think it's alcohol. Alcohol is a gateway drug. Because once I started feeling the way alcohol did, I was like, what else is out there? Wow, alcohol's cool. Well, what else is next? Because alcohol is a gateway. Because I'm not really too terribly excited about alcohol. It's okay, but it always feels like it's just set me up to feel loose and comfortable. Now I'm able to let go of my fears, bring down the gate of defense mechanisms I have, let down my guard and start doing what I really want to do. And that is be fearless. I've tried other drugs, I've tried combinations of drugs, alcohol with this, alcohol with pills, alcohol, cocaine, marijuana, alcohol, heroin, drugs and heroin, all the same. Basically, none of them make the effect I'm looking for, which is happiness. And invariably, that's the thing I'm trying to find, happiness. And you can't find happiness in a bottle of pills. You can't find happiness in a syringe. And you can't roll it up, and you can't pop a top and drink it. It doesn't work. I would say the most luxurious high, the one I liked the most, was cocaine and heroin, speedballing. That was the high that I liked the most. I enjoyed it the most because it had all the positive side effects of the, you know, the euphoria of cocaine, and at the same time it had the positive side effects of heroin, and they kind of negated each other's negative side effects at the same time. The cocaine and heroin is known as speedballing, and there's a lot of people who do that. You know, some people take, like for instance, ecstasy, and ecstasy will get you really high, but they'll combine it with other drugs like, you know, Xanax or you know, other marijuana, or other drugs to try to, you know, deal with the side effects of other drugs. And invariably, it's always the same thing. It's just, you know, stacking drugs on top of each other, making cocktails. Yeah, I've had quite a lot of experience with the Oxycontin Express, so to speak, the pill mills and pain clinic. We was talking about the South Florida pill mills and how people would come down here and get on pain management clinics very easily by getting MRIs from doctors that were unscrupulous, that just wanted to make money from writing prescriptions. And, you know, getting kickbacks from pharmacies that are filling scripts for them. And I had an exposure to dealing drugs when I was about 19 that didn't last very long. I was broke, very scared, didn't have any money, was about to lose my job. My girlfriend was pregnant at the time. And I had no idea where I was going to turn. And my best ideas were to contact a friend of mine and see if he could give me some work, and he turned me down. So I went to a party with some friends that night, and one of them asked me if I knew where to get any ecstasy. And I said, yeah, matter of fact, I did. He said, well, we just need like 10 pills. And I said, okay. He said, I'll give you a couple. Okay, thanks. So, you know, I didn't want to be dealing with my negative, you know, reality, you know. Had no furniture, no car, no money, just about to be, you know, fired from a job. Had no idea I was going to pay rent. I didn't want to deal with that, so I got high, you know. What better way to deal with it? Escape reality for a while, you know, because reality sucks, you know. There was to deal with it. And after I sold him 10 pills, I was like, no big deal, you know. I got a couple pills out of it. He offered me, he says, hey, we need some more. We want 100. And I'm like, 100? I got a little suspicious. Got him for him, got him 100 pills. What happened was that same guy says, hey, we need 1,000. And something wasn't right. I knew something wasn't right. I was like, why would you get 1,000 pills, bro? I mean, are you dealing them now? Is that what you're doing? You know, they don't use what they sell. They don't sell what they use. Like most crack addicts aren't very successful when it comes to selling drugs. They can't ever keep $1 in their pocket. But you'll find a lot of heroin addicts end up selling their product and to others so that they can keep their habit going. That's real common. They don't really become a successful dealer. They just end up supporting their own habit. You know, that's about it. It's rare to see somebody who's an addict who becomes a successful dealer. I mean, it just doesn't happen very often. People use drugs and alcohol because they don't like how they feel. That's it. You know, we're in the most, you know, successful country in the world, and yet we're the worst for drug addiction in the world. I think it's basically a spiritual dilemma. It has nothing to do with money. It has nothing to do with, you know, your background. Some people, there's people from all walks of life become drug addicts. From the rich, they say it, from Park Avenue to Park Bench. All walks of life become alcoholics and addicts. Why does one become an alcoholic and one not? Why does one person become a president and one person become a loser? Who knows? But people use alcohol and drugs because they want to, you know, not because of anything that the outside sources can do. And it's a spiritual dilemma. Most people use alcohol and drugs because they're not happy with what they feel. They want to change how they feel. And they do it. You know, that's really a political thing. I have no opinion when it comes to marijuana. I mean, I smoked marijuana as a kid, and by the time I was 26, I got sick of it. Just quit smoking it. You know, I smoke it very rarely. You know, once in a while, somebody will have some marijuana and offer it. And up till now, you know, I've rarely smoked it. Last year, I was offered some and smoked it. But I fail to see how it's significantly damaging. You know, there's marijuana is less damaging than alcohol or cigarettes, and yet those two others are legalized and marijuana is not. So I think it'd be great for the country if it was legalized. I mean, it would increase our tax revenue by leaps and bounds. It would bring more money into the economy. You know, it may cause some more problems. You know, we probably wouldn't be having so many kids because it causes a low sperm count in a lot of guys. But then again, we probably have some problems with people going to work. It causes laziness and obesity. So it's all relative. You know, there's going to be negative effects on it, and there's going to be positive effects. I think the positive effects are going to far outweigh the negative ones. You don't see a lot of marijuana addicts, you know, going out and robbing banks. You know, you don't see a lot of marijuana users falling asleep at the wheel and driving into a tree. But then again, there's going to be some negative effects. You know, people who smoke marijuana are not necessarily that ambitious in life. Definitely not the top-notch engineers and thinking minds are smoking pot. But then again, there's some brilliant people who do it too. So, I mean, there's a lot of pros and cons. It'd be hard for me. I mean, my opinion is just that, an opinion. So, I think without the drug dilemma, without the drug war on drugs, without drugs in this economy, our prison systems would be half of what they are today. Half. Over half the people in jail or institutions right now are there because of drugs. That employs a lot of people. That brings a lot of lawyers jobs. That brings a lot of police officers responsibilities. And all of the B-tree results of that is if there's higher crime rates because of marijuana or cocaine use and heroin use, then there's more property crimes. And the insurance companies thrive on that too, because let's face it, if nobody's house ever got broken into, insurance companies wouldn't have rates to charge. If there wasn't car crashes due to people having alcohol or drugs, you know, problems, there wouldn't be places of jails for people to be arrested to. The United States has the highest population of inmates in the entire world. And it's all because of alcohol and drugs. This is a huge industry that the federal government is supporting, our taxpayers. Basically, we've turned humans into cattle. The United States has, the 3 largest states have nothing but prisons housing all these alcoholics and inmates. Instead of helping them get their life together, they send them to prison, charge the federal government, make money on it, keep people employed. It's an economy. It's an economical, you know, it's an entire market. And it's quite a busy one too. When you have nowhere to go, you have no one to count on, you have no hope, you use because you hate the way you feel. But invariably, you know, using is never going to change that anyways. Using alcohol and drugs will never change the facts of life. And if you just want to escape from life, you're not dealing with stuff. You know, there's a saying, you know, that fear is the key. Fear is what people react to. You know, a lot of people think of fear as forget everything, just run. Run. It's the flight or fight response. You can run from everything, or you can stand and fight. You can face things and realize life.